Well, here we are this morning, and we're going live with Celtic Raven Fibers.
Okay. Morning, everyone. We're going to miss Lorna today because she had to teach, and she usually has such great conversation with us. And I know that Kelly is in an all-day conference today. She was going to speak on 18th century textiles, but she's going to come next week.
Oh, very good.
Oh,
very good.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Very
nice.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Now, I, of course, am way far behind.
Me too.
Because I need Cindy. It's like, I just can't seem to, I just do not work well alone. Not self-motivating. And I'm not sure what row I'm on. I marked it that I was beginning row 19, and I wrote it down for row 19. But for some reason, I'm not sure if this is row 19. But I think that I have 6 here, and when I knit 3 yarn over knit 2, I'm not sure, Cindy.
I just did some checking on a row from section 7, and I'm only in section 6. Instead of ripping it out, I'm going to leave a line with holes in it in my section. Leave a line of pattern. Let it go.
So, but
I got mine done.
Look at that.
Oh, how gorgeous.
And I'm
That
showing you
looks-
the wrong side again. It goes this way.
That turned out really
It
nice.
really did.
And did you have
Really
Did you
did.
have any problems with the instructions in section 7?
There's just the one line where you have to read the whole thing, and there's more information on the second line. And the first time through, I was like, oh my God, this doesn't work. And then I went, oh, I was just about to call you. But then I saw that there's more.
Row 15, right? There's
Yes.
one little knit one on the second line below.
And once I found it, I was laughing.
Yeah.
So that I made a note so I wouldn't go looking for it again the second time. But I'm super pleased. And I really like this color. This color a lot of the colors in this made me very happy.
So
This one made me happy.
I'll tell you how I figure this
Oh,
out, Rita.
yes, please.
This is what I did the whole time.
Okay.
Because this is always changing by one stitch.
Yes.
So I count my stitches. I got 2,
Look, it's-
4, 6, 7 before the
Right.
marker.
And
So look on here where there's
one.
knit one front and back, and then it would be knit.
That will give me 8 then, wouldn't it?
I try and
6,
find. So I knit one front and back. So actually, I look on here. I go knit one front and back.
So
I knit
that would-
4. So where's the one where I knit 4?
Right. So I am
So
on that
you're on
row.
row here. Or have you?
Row 19. That's
yeah.
what I thought I was
Okay.
on.
So that's how I use my hint to figure out what row
Very
I'm on.
good. Thank you. That's a great hint. That I was trying to be secure in that. That
So
I
you
would be
can-
one number behind.
Yeah, so you
But-
can always go back to that row and just go knit one front and back, and then count your number of stitches. And if it's knit 4, look on your pattern where you were knit 4, and you're going to know
And I'm
you're on
going
the
to know
next.
where I am,
you're
and
on
that'll
the next row.
That's,
Look at all your little bit, Peggy.
Oh,
I know I have little
Peggy.
babies. And I'm trying to decide which ones I'm going to use to finish it off. So-
I've seen the purple against the green, and it looks really nice.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Or
The purple,
the purple,
not the
purple.
burgundy-ish
Not the
one.
garnet.
Garnet one. Yeah.
They're all
They all
pretty.
I really tried to make that so any pattern would go together. So.
They're so
Big decisions.
I know.
That is a big decision.
I still want your nubbies. I still want to make socks.
You can look through. You can look through this one too. See what
Just
you need.
because
Okay.
they are just calling to me. But that's actually interesting that the colors really do. It's just this is really now personal.
So
choice.
now it is. It's exactly. It's personal choice.
It's like
what you think.
it's your signature.
It is your signature. Yeah.
So I was talking to my daughter who makes jewelry with sterling silver and stones, and I asked her to think about shawl pins.
Oh, what a great idea!
Oh.
So I was going to put this shawl away, to make a Christmas gift decision. But I'm thinking I'm going to send it to her because then she could take photographs of the shawl pins against different
Right.
colors and textures.
Ready.
And then maybe you'll get a shawl pin for Christmas or something.
That would be so nice if I really am very like subtle with my hints. Like, I really like this stone.
Does your daughter have an Etsy shop?
She
or
does.
What is it called?
It's called the Valley J.
The Valley J.
Yes, as in the little bird.
Mm-hmm.
They're funny, those birds, because you
Yeah.
can put seed on your hand, and they will come and sit on your
Oh
hand.
yeah.
So if you put it on your head, they'll sit on your head.
Yep.
And peck through your hair or whatever.
And
But she has a really
and possibly poop on your head.
well. There's always that possibility. But anytime you have a bird that's free on you, that's how.
Does it? Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Valley J.
Yeah, that reminded me one time we were watching our kids play ball, and this lady in the ball diamonds. These birds are flying overhead, and all of a sudden she yells, "What was that?" She was covered in bird poop and landed right on the top of her head. It's like,
Oh, and then you always had someone who would say something like, "Oh, that's good luck."
yeah, really.
Really?
I
It
think,
didn't feel like good luck.
I think somebody just made that up.
I think so
make
too, to
people
try to
feel
make
better.
it feel better, right?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Mhm.
You've just ruined my shirt. I don't feel lucky at all.
I remember we were coming out of the Sobeys in Bridgewater one day with my father. This is many years ago because he's long gone, but the seagull got him.
Oh,
He had shooed the seagull away from the shopping cart, and the seagull got him back.
Oh, oh.
How disgusting!
Yes, because some of those, it's like, oh dear,
Oh,
they make such big poop.
it was a doozy.
no. Yeah.
Poor Dad. Oh my.
Oh, we got to thank Murray for always having us ready with a hot beverage. Hey,
Yes,
yeah.
we
he
sure
always
did.
gets everything ready for us. It's so nice.
He greeted me at the door in French this morning.
Oh, did he?
Oh yes, ooh la la.
Did he say ooh la la when you
No,
walked
he
in?
said- No, he said bonjour, mademoiselle. That's what he said. It was very good. If he had said ooh la la, that would have been good too.
That would have been okay too. Yeah. That's right.
Oh, I can't. Maybe I will do multiple rows. I'm allowed.
You can do whatever you want at this point, right? You've made it through.
That is an amazing feeling of accomplishment. Just saying.
So you learned how to do lace patterns with this one.
So cool.
And so that's another
Yeah.
little trick.
Check.
So yeah,
This was definitely knitting university for me.
yeah, and knitting on it something to go on an angle too.
Yes, I'd never
Yeah.
done anything like this. But I really, really love having the option of all the colors. That was just so fun. Mm. Okay. Did I ever tell you I have trouble making decisions?
That's the hardest thing, isn't it?
We're supposed to have a beautiful week ahead of us here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Yes, yes, yes. It confuses the thermostat in my kitchen, though. We have one of those digital ones where you put a component outside and you have the
Oh, yes.
unit
Ah,
inside.
yes.
And so this morning it said that it was 11 degrees outside, so I went outside without my coat and then came back in.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I think it's confused.
I'm a little confused. So many color decisions.
I know.
Colors are
I am-
my biggest challenge is picking out the colors I want. Because, well, I have too much choice for one thing.
Spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
Well, it was last year I was listening to one of those CBC programs about painting, and they always have that expert on at lunchtime who tells you about paint.
Yes.
And this guy called in, he said, I want to paint my door, but I don't know what color to choose for my door. And I thought, what a funny thing to ask a paint expert, right? Like, I wasn't going to help you with this.
Mhm.
And the guy actually said, go to your closet, open the door, and look in. What's the dominant color that you see? That's the color you should paint your door, because it's obviously your favorite color.
Oh,
Oh,
So go and have a look in your closet.
wow.
that's interesting.
That is very interesting. So what would be the dominant color in your closet?
Lots of black because of the dance stuff, and some blue. various shades of blue. Definitely. And I know with my daughter, it's burgundy. She really, really has a lot of nice burgundy colored clothes.
And Cindy?
Well, lots of black with purple and lime green, or
Yeah.
that French
Yeah.
green, that really pretty. Well, it's
Mhm.
pretty to me. It may not be pretty to someone else. But
What about you?
Lots of gray and black with a hint of pink. And some
Oh.
orange, believe it or not. I like orange.
Yeah. That's cool. I have a lot of, well, I won't say a lot. I think the accent would be the burgundy, like sort of a fuchsia that I wear when I walk, so that I'm seen.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why I have my bulkier sweaters are in a brighter color, so that in the fall, when you're walking,
You can be seen.
you can be
It
seen.
becomes really important.
Yeah, it does.
So I want to say good morning to Cindy. I have not seen you check out our videos before, Cindy, and I'm just wondering, where are you located today? We're in Shelburne, Nova Scotia, but are you around this area or further afield? So I wonder if our early morning Western people are going to pop in for a few minutes.
That's always so much fun.
Yeah, they're ones my friends and family that are getting ready before work, and they pop in and say hi and pop
That's
out
awesome.
again. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, don't do both. Just one piece. Don't knit both. That's not so good.
Don't knit with the wrong one. I've done that a few times.
Try to start at the wrong end.
Yeah, I've done that
Are
too.
Are you paying attention? Yesterday afternoon, though, turned out to be the perfect kind of weather for staying in and knitting. So
Yes. Did you get to knit for a while in the afternoon yesterday?
yesterday, and that's not usual for
That's
me.
very unusual for you.
Yes.
Because you don't normally get to knit during the day. Oh, Leslie says good morning from Calgary. Thanks, Leslie. Checking in before you get going for the day.
I hope you have a nice day.
I also brought the Harry Potter knitting book that I told
Oh,
someone
good.
that I got in the mail.
Wonderful.
Morning, Kathy. Kathy's watching us. Good morning, Kathy. That's great that you have the Harry Potter.
Yeah,
knitting
just
book.
for I wanted to show
Yeah.
you. Yeah, today's definitely my show and share day. I can't help it.
Yeah.
It was like I remembered, so I just got a bag.
Peggy's got some awesome stuff to show us once we get settled in here.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever she's ready, she's got some great things that she brought today. Kelly Grant was going to join us today, and she had to have an all-day meeting. She was going to talk about 18th century textiles, so she's going to come next week instead.
So very good.
Peggy's here. Kelly will be here next week. So we're looking forward to that because Peggy's. See, now I'm all confused, which doesn't take much these days.
It's early.
Yeah. So Kelly does a lot of really fascinating stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Oh, me too.
I was looking at a video where they were knitting a shawl and putting beads in the shawl.
I have the little tool to do that.
I was just going to ask you, there must be a special little
There is
tool
a tool.
for doing that.
Yeah,
And then you must have to buy beads with a large enough opening
Yeah,
to
I
be able
bought-
to pull in and out.
I bought some pretty purple beads, and I bought the tool. And I think I used the
You
purple
used them on-
beads on
yeah,
that,
that's
but
right.
I sewed them on. I didn't knit them on.
Okay.
I sewed them on the little rabbit tea cozy.
Well, that's another show and tell for next week.
Yeah. Oh, the little tool.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try and get something that I can actually demo it.
So
Show
cool.
it. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure I can figure it out pretty easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I was surprised, like the technique this woman was using was that she would just literally take the stitch off, use her little tool,
Yeah.
and slide the bead down, and then knit the stitch. I was like, oh my goodness! All this time, I couldn't figure out how they were doing it. And
I
Yeah.
have tried to so many times.
So Janet Dawson at the Bobbin Tree in Sydney has the tools, and she mails out. So
Awesome.
if you want to get one, just contact Janet, and if you're both going to get one, get them delivered
At the
at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, I did not bring a pen with me. What is that?
Or just let me contact her.
Oh, we could do that too.
Yeah.
We could definitely do
Yeah,
that.
we could do that.
Yeah.
And then, yes.
Yeah.
So if she sells the tools, she must sell the beads, right?
Mm-hmm. She does. Oh, here comes Maria's knitting.
Excellent, Murray.
How's
Our switch
everybody
spots?
doing?
You got to stay there because you're going to be show and telling.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to sit here in the background.
Let's see how long it is.
It hasn't changed. I haven't done anything.
None of us got, Greta and myself and Marie did not move along on this week.
Last week was not a nitty kind of weekend, except for Penny, who
Well, yesterday Larry
the
went
mobile.
out, so I had the house to myself. And so my dog's at my feet. I just knit.
Nice.
Isn't that beautiful when you get a time like that?
And
when
it
you
wasn't
can do
very
it?
nice outside, so it was good.
Yeah, we had a really miserable kind of day here yesterday, didn't we?
So it was perfect for knitting.
Yeah.
Didn't need to or want to go anywhere. Just sat and knit.
I learned something really interesting yesterday. When you're on the highway, and you put your four-way flashers on so
Yes.
that if you've pulled off to the side so that someone knows you're there.
Mhm.
Do you know that they take an inordinate amount of energy from your battery?
Really?
The
They
flashers?
do, the flashers. So Rod was up, he makes hurdle fencing, and my husband was up getting alder bushes to make his fencing and left the four-way flashers on. When he came back, the car was totally dead.
Oh no.
Yeah, so much so that the guy from CAA had to use the big boosting thing. The little one wouldn't even work.
I never knew that.
No, neither did he. Like go figure.
I guess a lot of times when you have those on, you have the car running.
Yes, and that's what the guy said. Idle your car if you're going to leave them running. It's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
But who'd have thunk it? Because he was shocked. I was shocked.
Mhm.
Where's Rod making this fence for?
Oh, for our yard now, Mer.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's going to surround our front garden with it.
Nice.
So
That'll look good.
it will. It'll look really nice.
He did such a fine job over there at the museum.
It's quite an amazing
Accomplishment there, isn't it?
It really, yeah, and that's when he learned how to do it. So now he's much more competent, yeah, to do it.
Surprisingly long. Pardon me, those alders, they
Yeah.
last a long time.
They do.
When they're cut and they're formed like that.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they have the chance to dry out, if they get really wet. And
Well, that's the thing. They dry into a really, really tight.
Weave when you weave them, or
The grain of the wood gets really tight, so it doesn't
Oh,
allow
okay.
the water in once they're dried out.
Yeah.
They don't reabsorb water. That's why they're not good for fireplaces, because they get too hard.
Right.
do you mean like to burn them?
Yeah.
They're not a good burning wood.
They're good green, believe it or not. They're one of those few things that's better to burn green, because then you get the alder smoke, which is supposed to be healing, purifying.
Mhm.
We've been putting a little can of water on our pellet stove and just putting a drop of juniper essential oil in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Or juniper berry, it's called.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to, otherwise the air gets so dry. I have several different blankets for my bulldog because she's a bulldog and she drools. So when the blanket gets like every 3 days, I switch it up. And
Yeah.
I have one that I bought at
Mhm.
Frenchie's that's a synthetic. And when actually I washed it, but Larry put it in the dryer and didn't put a dryer sheet in.
Oh.
So my bulldog's rolling on her blanket, and she never rolls on her back because it's hard for her to breathe. And she's just rolling like a feet, and I can hear like crackling noises. And I realized that she was having a really good time giving herself electric shocks.
Oh.
She liked that, eh?
She seemed to really like it on her back. I just don't know.
Snap, snap.
Well, that's what I was hearing. It was like a really, and it was constant, right?
Oh.
That's like Lulu's tail right now when she gets up. Her tail is just sticks straight out in every
Oh.
direction.
Isn't it funny? I love
Yeah.
that actually because my terrier's the same. And if I run, I feel like a magician, right? You go to pet the top and her hair stands up. You don't have to touch her. It just. I love it. My husband
Speaking
says
of
I have to
Lulu,
stop doing
Did you
that.
know where she is?
She's right.
She's hiding right down here
Isn't that
between us.
funny?
Lulu is here. All the girls are here.
She's in her favorite spot. Well,
So
her favorite spot is one of the chairs.
Yeah, she's waiting for one of us to leave our warm
Yes, to
spot.
vacate.
Yeah.
So I sent an email off to Arnie and Carlos in Norway.
Did you?
They did.
And I asked them to involve themselves a little bit with our dyeing project. That if they were to be wanting to pick out 4 numbers each for me to dye them a skein of yarn. And the reply I got was, "Thank you very much, but we cannot take you up on this at this time because we have so much of our own products here." So
Aha.
yeah,
Well, then you
They're
should have
full.
invited them here. You should bring your product here so
yeah.
that we can
Well,
feature.
Arnie and Carlos do have their online shop,
Okay.
and I'm
I've
not
bought a few of their
into.
patterns.
I haven't gone into their patterns because I'm not that accomplished yet. So it was just interesting that I did get a reply from
Well,
them.
that's nice.
That
Yes,
is
it is.
nice. Yeah.
I knit their big Christmas star for the tree. I have
Yes.
not put it up yet. It's quite big, like it's probably about this in diameter, about like this.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a biggie.
And you start and you knit all these little cones, and then you knit it together. It's really cool. Or do you knit together and then you break it off and knit the cones? It's one way or the other, right?
Okay.
But the whole thing is like you only have to kind of sew up in one place at the back on the end.
Oh.
So I'll show you guys.
Oh, wow. That would be great.
And then I bought their Christmas stocking patterns because my goal next year is to have stockings made for Marie and I from their patterns. 'Cause
Oh,
they're
very
big.
good.
They're big and they're really beautiful. And
Yeah.
the ferrule knitting, I like that. So here I left the 2 little holes in here from where I did the sample on the pattern.
Oh, very good.
I thought I'm not going to rip out 128 stitches, and I'll just
No.
add some interest to this.
You can tell everybody exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's row 15 from section 7.
Yeah.
You can call it that when you put it for sale in your store.
Yeah.
Call it row 15.
Row 15.
Yeah.
I
Row
like that.
15.
People will be like,
Ooh, what is
it
that?
sounds like magic.
Yeah. That's for sure.
So the beginning knitter over here doing university has gotten to the end of row 19 in her first lacy thingy here. Without a mistake.
Yeah, I did not have Rita coming over to visit me throughout the week.
Can you imagine
I
that?
usually have a visit at some point in time.
And I make a mistake, and when I do, I panic. It's
Yeah.
like, this is not relaxing. I'm trying to get to the point where knitting is relaxing.
Who's putting all the pressure on you?
Me. Me, myself, and
And
I.
exactly.
Sometimes I call me, M-E, the mischievous entity.
Mischievous entity.
That's me.
Oh boy.
Very good.
Yeah.
M-E.
That's good.
That's it.
I just send Cindy lengthy emails or texts. So, what does this mean? And does this mean this? And.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dear. And Cindy always writes back, let me go get the pattern.
Yeah. I do, because I have to look at it and like get in my head where you're at.
Yeah,
So I can
exactly.
answer you correctly. Because I wouldn't want to give you any wrong information.
Oh, that would be the, I'm finishing it this way now.
Yeah.
I am not starting over. I have embraced this design.
That's
Yes.
it. Yes.
Kind of like I've done one here.
That's exactly right.
Kind of like row 15.
This is row 15. Yep.
Just like Bob Ross. Happy accident. And not yours. Yours wasn't an accident. Yours was row 15.
Mine is row 15.
Okay, I just had a heart-stopping moment. I looked at, because I'm using the little nubbies, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Where'd it go?
I have no idea. How big of a piece do I have left?
Yeah.
Am I going to make it all the way to the end?
And you will?
Not sure.
Sure.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe you'll watch me graft on another color in the middle of a row.
And that's okay.
I can do that because it's my signature ending.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
Yarn misers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have to find a new color. I've been doing like keeping the blue consistent but changing every second.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
very pretty.
Nice.
Now I
yeah.
have to come up.
There,
with my
you
next-
see that? From the time that we sat down, I've done a row.
Excellent.
So I'm
Excellent,
going to
Murray.
make sure I count
So
my
have
stitches.
yeah, are you keeping your stitches pretty close?
We'll see.
Oh, you'll find out.
Oh, I'm going to put up the hand. Okay? The
That's
hand.
great. Yeah.
I've got to count my
He's gonna
stitches.
count. Nobody text. Nobody comment.
That's right. Nobody talking.
No.
No going 48, 39, 23.
Oh, Peggy, thank you.
12. Sorry.
It's so much.
I was on 12.
Were you really?
So I just stopped right there.
That's freaky. Okay. I'll be good.
Mischievous.
Okay, let's start again.
Oh, he lost it on 13.
1, 2.
Oh,
8, 9.
Okay. So if I hold it at 20, then at least I know.
Ladies, we're doing payback for everyone who's ever been
Murray,
interrupted by
Murray,
their
what's for
husband.
dinner?
Mid count. Mid count.
I really want Rod to learn how to knit, just so that he learns this valuable lesson.
Well, I've got 54
And you started with 55?
with 50.
50. Oh, so you've only increased by 4. Well, that's not bad. Okay, knit 2 together. How many times does he have to do that? 4
Only-
times.
No, only
Two.
2.
Twice.
Just twice.
No,
Just-
that would only bring him to 52.
Oh, that's
Oh,
correct.
right.
4 times.
That's why she's the teacher.
That's right.
So knit 2 together. Do you know what I mean by that?
Okay,
Stab
so,
2 pirates.
so now
Stab
I'm-
2 pirates at once.
okay, I see that. So I go down below.
Yeah, and get 2 of them.
Make sure they're not looking so that they don't run away.
Catch him quick.
Okay. I brought out my long sword. Stab 2 pirates.
Okay. Knit those 2 together.
Choke 2 pirates. Hang 2 pirates. And then walk them off the plank. Oh, that's kind of a different knot, eh?
Okay, now just knit
Okay,
about 10 stitches.
So knit about 10 stitches.
Yeah, regular.
Okay.
He's concentrating. You're just snoring away down there.
Such a good girl.
That reminds me of a story.
Ah,
So, many years ago, when I was working as a teacher assistant in the classroom, I worked with a teacher in the afternoon, and we just had 12 students that would benefit from 2 people just helping them
Yes.
Life skill.
understand things better. Like, they just needed a little bit more attention. So, anyways, we found if we hum the Jeopardy music they could answer their questions better because they all had watched it.
Oh.
And they thought it was the best fun ever.
Oh.
Mary and I would stand at the front of the classroom and go, do, 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 do. And they'd be like,
Oh.
I know it. It
It's
just
too
triggered them
funny.
that they knew they had to answer before the end of the music.
Right,
Oh,
right,
It was so much
wow.
fun. So
Oh
they
my
used to
goodness.
look forward to like their Jeopardy
Jeopardy.
question time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
And I mean, part of being successful working with those kids is coming up with ideas that are different and outside of the box.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And so they loved that.
Mhm.
Mary and I said, if someone ever walks in here, they'll think we're a couple of crazy ladies. But we had fun, and the kids had fun.
And they learned.
And they learned, and that's what it was all about.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what it was all
Mhm.
about.
Okay, now your suggestion is to knit 2 more.
Yeah, and then knit 10 and knit 2
Yes.
more. So you're not knitting them all in one spot, the 2 together. Because if you knit the 2 together all in one spot,
Yeah.
you have a slanted area in that spot. But if you space out the knitting 2 together, you're going to bring it back into shape easier, and it'll look more even.
Save your last knit 2 together for the end of the row.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Or you
Or
don't
10
have to.
No, you don't
If he
have
does
to at all?
every 10, so he's doing
Okay.
knit 2 together, knit 10, knit 2 together, knit 10. So it's
Okay.
going to be spaced out.
Great.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Especially when you're doing something that's straight knitting. I mean, you don't need to rip back, especially like a scarf or a dishcloth or something. If you have
This
an
is a neck cowl, so
Yeah, if you have an extra stitch, I would knit 2 together rather than be pulling it back to figure out where I
Great.
added that extra stitch in.
Okay, nice to know. And that's good to know for the students who start by knitting straight like Murray does
Yeah.
at the museum.
Yeah,
Because often I'm never quite sure, so I end up taking it out.
yeah,
for
just let them knit 2
Yeah.
together. Yeah. It's all about learning, and they're going to come a point where they have to knit 2 together in a pattern.
That's
so then they
right.
know how to do it, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's enough to go back, right?
Yes, it should be.
What do you guys think? That's enough to go back, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What's your next closest color?
So what they say, what I've heard is 3 times your row.
Yes. Yeah,
So-
that's right.
Ah.
So if you
That's-
spread your yarn out and you can actually go 1, 2, 3, and I actually do that when I'm playing yarn chicken. I'm like, okay,
Chicken.
haven't you heard that before?
Never.
Oh my God, yarn chicken.
Yarn
You know when you're playing.
Yarn
I wanna-
chicken.
We are playing yarn chicken
You're playing yarn chicken
right
So,
now.
yeah.
We are.
3 times yarn.
But isn't that why they
to
have
row.
you wrap your yarn around your needles when you're doing the
Yeah.
long-tailed cast
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
You're playing yarn chicken
In that
in
too.
reverse,
Yeah.
Reverse.
Yeah.
so that
I
you don't
hate
waste.
that cast on.
I don't use that cast.
That cast on really bothers me because I start the project nervous.
Oh,
It's not
so
the
you don't cast on using that first stitch thing, like the long.
No.
I
Do you use the short tail one?
No, I use. I think it's called Old Norwegian cast on. It's the cast on my mom showed me.
I do whatever Cindy taught me.
And it's just like knitting. I'll show you.
It's great.
It's so easy, and I really like it. And it gives a nice edge. on
See,
the
that's
bottom.
that's the reason for doing the other way, because I used to just like cast on loosely from my thumb, but then I started
No,
using this other one because it gives you a nice clean row and it's
Yeah.
easy to keep it from rolling on itself.
So
Yes.
So you'll have
so
to
you
show-
see
yeah.
this, like this is a nice clean.
Yes.
Yeah,
edge.
and mine
Yeah.
has done the same
Yeah.
as hers. It's a nice clean.
It's really easy, and I'll show it to you.
So, while we have a little bit of a
And
lull,
you can
I
rewind
just wanted to
mine.
mention that I ended up contacting a few of the people that left comments last week
Yeah.
about
Yes.
wanting to join me some evening for a
Very
knit
similar.
along.
It is.
Yes.
And some people are for it, some people aren't, but nobody has a consistent or
Day.
an absolute day, time.
Oh,
you know.
Yes.
And one lady even says, "Well, I really like to knit between 10 and 2 a.m. for between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m." I'm thinking,
Lucky
well,
her.
you know, I could go from say 9 till 11, but I'm not staying up after. Anyways,
No, that's.
it would be interesting though to have another little evening knit along.
Mm-hmm.
Days are getting longer, so
This weekend, daylight savings time.
Boo.
Okay, I'm going to show you how I cast on. So I start with a just a slip knot with my 2 needles in like this. Okay, so that's just pretend the rest of it isn't there. So I do this, pull this through, and loop it on. That gives you that nice little twist.
I think you're doing the exact same thing I'm doing, but I don't do it from the needle. I do it from
Yeah.
my hand.
Yeah.
That's the exact same thing. I
But
just have the
this
yarn.
way,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about my length of yarn.
Oh, okay.
Right, 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
that would
working-
be the difference.
I'm working with the yarn,
The long yarn.
the long yarn.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, cool. When I'm starting a new project, I will get you to show
you'll
me.
try that. Okay, now I have to come up with my.
And
next
what's it
color.
called again? You said Norwegian.
I think it's called the Old Norwegian Cast On. When I have a book called Cast On, Cast Off that I can't find right now, and I looked through it because I never knew what it was called, and I wanted to find out what it was called,
Mhm.
and that was the closest I could find to it. That I thought, okay, that looks like what I'm doing. Okay, you guys, what do I pull out of here next?
what was your last colors?
The pinky red.
Pinky red. Then you want to go back to green or blue,
I don't
or
know. Well, blue is the in-between color all the time. This one?
Yeah. No. Oh, you're doing blue next?
No, I'm doing whatever.
That one.
This one.
Oh, this one.
This one. Yeah. That would work.
That would.
I have all my favorite colors in here. Like I pick colors that appeal to me to go in there. So it doesn't matter what I pull. I'm gonna like it.
Very good.
I hope.
Now, Cindy, I did a really silly thing. What did I do here?
You might have looped it around twice.
Yeah.
Or
So that
something.
can be
Well,
sewn
you
in
know what? You
later.
just put a little tack on the back
Yeah.
and
Okay.
hold it in place.
Or should I cut it and stitch
No,
it in?
it is too short to cut.
Okay.
If you cut that, you've got 2 tiny little ends to try and weave in
Okay.
that could possibly pull out.
So could I put the 2 ends in and weave them through?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
'Cause it
I'll
looks-
show you what to do.
Alrighty, thanks.
when it
I'll
comes
show
to
you
the
guys
end.
what I did.
Yeah, I was going to say we should get the camera over here and maybe Murray
I can do that.
That would be
Okay.
good so that they can see what.
What breed did you?
Yeah.
It's in quite a few rows back,
Is
or I
it
would have
too-
taken it out.
Is it too soon for you to tell us about blocking and stuff?
See, I have a loop. I want to demo it actually. There.
Next week?
Yeah, I
I
can.
have a loop
be great.
Yeah.
somewhere back, quite a ways in my pattern. And now I'm trying to know
Fit
how
that
to
in.
put it away.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
thank you, Murray.
Okay.
Okay.
So I had lots of comments that came
How
to
is
me
the camera set up now for
We're
the
good.
screen?
Oh, you're good. Thank you.
Okay.
about the,
Yep,
about
we're
the
all
whole
here.
story.
Oh, yes.
Did you
okay.
find the pictures?
No, I haven't. Greta Mossman is commenting.
Well, that would be my husband, Rod. Hi, Rod.
Okay, that was really kind of weird. Just saying.
He
Yeah.
came on.
It's the spirit of Greta.
That's his
Yeah.
first time. He came in, but then he was afraid he shouldn't have been there, so he left all the
So-
other times.
You can stay.
So
You can
Murray's going
stay,
to
Rod.
teach you how to knit, Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rod, we're going to get you in here knitting along with Murray.
Murray,
I-
show Rod your knitting. Look, this is Murray's first knitting. He's making a cowl.
Tell him how you do your stitches. Your
Okay.
chant.
My chant. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you it's a neck cowl.
What does he say? No.
Wow.
Oh,
That's pretty adamant.
Murray used to say that.
Yes. I
Yes,
used to-
he did. He used to say that.
So what we do, Rod, is we stab the pirate, hang the pirate,
Choke.
choke the pirate, pardon me, hang the pirate, and then walk him off the plank. So there's the first stitch on. and then go down, stab the pirate, choke the pirate, hang the pirate, and walk him off the plank.
Woohoo!
So that's two. There we go. I'll sit down and relax.
See, it's not that bad.
Murray is smarter than me.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Rod. You've got some great talents, my friend.
Well,
Singing,
maybe
playing
Rod could
guitar.
come and play music in the
Oh,
background.
that would be
or
so
something.
nice. We could have a knitting singing along.
Knitting, singing along.
Don't bring the trombone.
How about my big kick drum?
No, no, no.
That would be a whole other video.
Yes.
Knitting to marching band.
I'm worried about the parrot.
Oh, on the pirate's shoulder.
Oh.
The parrot flies away.
And comes back every time.
Oh yes.
Next.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh, I should read the cards.
Oh, yes,
yes,
please read the cards.
Murray, could you grab me the December cards from both? They're in that, the big tray on top of the filing cabinet.
okay. Wait. Let me put my knitting down.
Okay.
Did you finish your row?
I didn't. I just started.
Oh.
I just started
Cardinal
it.
rule of knitting. Best excuse ever. Oh, honey, I have,
I have
to finish
my
my row.
row.
Just a minute while I finish
Can
my
you just
row.
do that for me? Because I have to finish my row.
I can't move
I
yet.
have
to
two
finish my
things.
row.
I have two things that poor Marie has to deal with. It's like I have to finish my row, and I can't move. Lulu's sitting on me right now.
Oh, my
Exactly.
goodness. I do that too.
Yeah.
Nallie's on my lap. I'm not going anywhere.
We have a cardinal rule in our house. You never move if you have to move a cat.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so all about the chaos. December. Christmas will not be traditional this year. Our dinner gatherings may be small in numbers, but our hope for the future will be huge. The resilience of humanity is what 2020 should be remembered for. Look for stories about the incredible acts of kindness and hold them close. Let the healing begin for our bruised hearts. Happy knitting as it's time to wrap up 2020.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then December in the Tranquility series is resilience. We realize that our past year has been about resilience. We have found resilience in simple, meaningful pieces of our daily lives. We have seen resilience in humanity with the stories of acts of kindness that have spilled out into the world. These moments work in our hearts and in our lives to create tranquility every day.
That's
Nice.
beautiful.
So there's our last two cards.
I am so looking forward to
Beautiful.
sharing this shawl with someone and having those cards
Yeah.
as part of the
The
gift.
gift.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really good idea.
Any idea who that's going to?
Well, I thought initially I was going to send it to my mom, but then I was talking to my daughter about making shawl pins. And so I'm going to send it to her because it has a variety of colors and textures. And then when she finishes the shawl pins, she could take photographs
Oh,
with the shawl.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I can use them and you can use them.
that's right.
Another thing I heard that I thought was really neat was Lise Gray took her 2020 charm off the stitch marker and sewed it into a corner of her shawl.
Oh,
That's a neat
I
idea.
like that
pretty.
I
idea.
like that idea.
Yeah, I really like that idea. So,
How many times, if I were to measure the yarn, how many times over my work to know that I can do a full row?
three.
Three.
That's what they say.
The magic number 3.
And I always do 3 and a bit.
Yeah.
Or
Because
when
you don't play that much
Oh,
of a
yeah,
chicken.
little bit.
Or
She's a safe chicken.
I was like, it's just about 3. I'm going to give it a try. And I have had to rip it back and take out another row before.
That would suck.
It
Yeah.
does, especially if it's a large
Yeah.
project. So really, you have to rip off your cast-off row. And your cast-off row is going to take a little bit more, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I always,
Oh, the cast off row takes more?
Well, yeah, because depending on which method you're using
Yes.
for the cast off,
Yes.
it can take a little bit more, right?
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I was playing chicken the other day, and I thought, oh, it's just the cast off roll. It won't take as much.
I find it
Whoopsies.
takes a little more.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah.
I need it.
See, there's another comment from Rita. Really nice cards.
Bye.
Didgeridoo.
Oh, he's going to bring the didgeridoo to play.
Okay.
Oh, that would
That
be
would be
cool.
Indeed.
That would be cool. That's nice and meditative. Yeah, I don't have a clue where I am. You're over there, but I do know.
Okay, show and share time because I finished a row.
Okay, we have a great show and share coming up.
I
with
am not
Peggy
sure
today.
where. Well, I'll start with this one. In 1981, I was in Scotland, and my friend in Scotland's grandparents had passed away, and the family was looking to sell the property. And it was an old house with the really thick walls. And this house was up on an escarpment. And during the Second World War, the government had taken over the house and used it as a kind of like they did with castles, right, where they could see
Like
all
a,
down,
like a lookout.
like a lookout,
redoubt.
but what you could see to the shore, way far away, and it was an amazing old house. But the grandparents hadn't lived in the house for 15 years, and so they one of the sons had lived in the house, so a lot of their stuff was still there, and they needed to clean it out, and so. On one of the old windows, there was a bench, like a wonderful window bench. And inside there was all this sheet music, just piles of sheet music. And hidden underneath the sheet music was this box. And I'll just show you the front of this box. And on the end, right, you could see that it was a corset box, right? And it's for a Esther style front lacing tea rose size 36 corset. So, of course,
I love that.
I do too.
Yes.
And that the box is still the same. There was never any tape put on it or anything like that. So obviously, this is a very sturdy box. Since I figured that by the time I got this, it had been sitting idle for at least 20 years, and yeah. It's just wonderful. And inside, there was an amazing collection of her knitting things. All of these different things, like there's a really old and large stitch holder, right? And
show our favorite needle.
oh, I see if I can find it. Of course, some of them don't have siblings anymore, and I've never seen bent knitting needles. So she must have. I would say that her tension must have been really tight.
Or they get sat on. Or they
Yeah.
There are quite a few bendies in there.
There were quite a few bendies and a few breakies, and then we found. Let me see. See, it's just so cool that she's had these sets. They're different colors. Like these ones are pink, but they've obviously.
And those are wooden, are they?
No, not these
No.
ones. These are actually they're kind of plastic, and this one has a broken tip.
50s or 60s plastic.
Yeah,
But
the
they're
one
not
that I
hard
got
like
from
Fake
Ruby
Light?
had more wood than this one. There's these things too. There's several of these. I'm not. Now, Greta thinks that they were for working leather. There's several of these in different sizes.
Can I see that?
Sure.
These are, you know what I think these are? Is old-fashioned latch hooks that you do from the bottom.
Oh.
You have your yarn goes through here,
Yes.
and it goes through here, and you have your canvas in front of you, and you punch and pull back, and it leaves a loop.
Oh.
Then you move it over, and you punch and you pull back, and it leaves a loop.
Interesting.
I've seen these before.
So there. This is also one of the things that I found in there that I really
That's
don't.
beautiful.
I don't know what it's for.
Wow.
Shaped like an upholstery needle, but it's huge.
You can't really see it too well against us.
Oh, that's
Oh,
been
that's
great.
perfect
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Because we can see it
Very
against your
perfect.
skin.
Yeah, you can see it
Yeah.
against your.
Isn't it
So it's
cool?
got quite a hook, and then the eye.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
neat.
look at this other gizmo.
Don't know what that is.
Oh, that's an eyebrow brush. You see?
For a horse.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Yeah, if I put it in my
something?
hands, you
Yep.
can maybe see it
Yeah,
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Isn't
it's
it usually the old Scotchman that has the
oh,
really
oh,
bristly
the big
hook?
bushy, yeah,
Eyebrows.
like Dr. Waverly in Man from Uncle.
Yeah.
Here is this is the needle. I'm gonna actually hold it against my arm so you can see it. This is the one that Greta and I could not get over how pretty it is.
Isn't it gorgeous?
And like I said, it's been sitting in this box probably for 40. Well, I picked it up in 81. How long ago was that? So
Do you know what I would do
40
with
years.
that, Peggy? I would do I would use it and do a really pretty piece of lace knitting, and then I would use that as the hanger, and I would hang it on the wall with the lace knitting hanging down from it as just decorative art.
because it's beautiful.
Because you would see the needle
Yes.
too.
That's a great idea.
It's
Yeah.
very beautiful.
But its sibling didn't survive. Anyhow, so this was really fun and a treasure, and I took everything out so Greta and I could go through it.
It was exciting.
It was
like a treasure
very, very
chest.
cool.
A treasure chest.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah,
That's
I would
a
find
very
a
nice
really
idea.
pretty. Look through
Yeah.
my books of the different lace patterns
Mhm.
and pick one that you like. Because there's some that would be just, the Japanese knitting lace pattern would be perfect. Because you get it's a bigger pattern that's just one thing that would go right up the middle. And a really nice design.
Ooh.
I'm just seeing if I can
Oh,
see
I
the
like
book
that.
over there.
I like that idea. Anyway,
Yeah.
so there you
That would
go.
look nice.
These wonderful things.
So fun.
40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Some of this stuff. So
Over 60 years
over
old.
60
for sure.
years sitting in this lovely corset box.
We got to Google that corset box.
Yeah, because it's called Debeau, Desbeau.
Designed for beauty.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be laced into your corset to get the right shape to be beautiful.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Thank God those days are gone. Now we just spank ourselves.
Yeah.
So who put the stress on the women to wear the corset? Was it other women saying that, you have to look lifted and cinched? And,
Separated and cinched.
or was it the men who found it the desirable hourglass type of? Because
That is such a good question.
Yeah.
You know, I think that at
was
one
both.
point men really drove the fashion industry, but initially I would think that it was probably women because we are such wonderful critics of ourselves and how we look. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you think of some of those dresses in the 15th and 16th
Oh,
century
yeah.
where they were so cinched and lifted that sitting with your back straight wasn't an option. You couldn't bend and you couldn't breathe if you.
Yeah.
For sure.
and I just keep
Then you
thinking
couldn't
that,
eat either.
yeah,
No,
the
you couldn't
health
eat.
risks.
That's right. Oh, the health risks are huge, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it would
And-
change the natural shape of your rib cage.
Of your
and stuff,
spine
yeah.
and stuff.
And of your
Yeah.
spine. Yeah.
Well, I didn't in the what was the culture where they wanted you to have small feet? Chinese.
The
And
Chinese,
would
yeah, where
bind
they
the
would bind
feet?
their
Or
feet.
Japanese.
I think it was.
No,
I think they were
Chinese.
Chinese, and you're right. Those women couldn't walk. If
Yeah.
they unbound their feet, they couldn't walk,
Yeah.
and they were in agony. Yeah.
It's like horrid work what is done in the name of
16.
culture or tradition or beauty.
I was in a show, in a play, when in my early 20s, and it was a period piece. So all of us got these wonderful dresses that had corsets, and they were two pieces, right? So the skirts had these great bustles on either side, like so on your hips, so that you were, all cinched in here. But I
Yes.
cleared a table going through the cafeteria, right? My hip cushions just wiped all of that right off. It was no problem at all. But so we're backstage and we're all laced and cinched, right? And I started laughing for no reason. I just got the giggles. And we couldn't breathe, right? So we're laying on the floor laughing
Gasping.
and missing our cues because I couldn't stop laughing.
Do you know what that's called?
What's
That's
that?
called a corpse. I guess when people just die on stage, that's the name for it. So yeah, there's a corpse.
Oh, it was just. We had to. We would do a tableau, right? So there were some of us in chairs and some standing, and I was reclined on the floor in the front, and I would give my lines, and I would start laughing. And now, of course, I'm not laughing out loud because I'm supposed to be in character, but I'm like bouncing like crazy. Of course, as soon as I started, they would start laughing.
That's
And
right.
they couldn't get their lines out. And the director would yell at me, and I did this consistently through the entire 3 nights of
You
performance.
just couldn't not.
I don't know what it was. It was like, and then my line wasn't funny. I just,
Maybe you were just thinking about the idiocy of it all.
that could have been because it was just one of those things, right? Oh my goodness. Anyway, those poor girls. They were just waiting for me to start. The shoulders jumping up and down.
Any reprimands?
Every night from the director and the stage manager. Every single night.
Yeah.
Peggy, you've just got to get it together.
Yep, exactly.
Hold it together, girl.
Concentration. Stay in character. Well, I am in character. I think that's who's laughing.
That's
It's
the
not
problem.
me.
It's
That's
the
right.
character.
It wasn't me. It was my character that was
I'm
laughing.
channeling the character. And
That's
she's
right.
like,
It's like
She
breaking
thinks
up.
this is stupid.
yeah. This is so far fetched from her reality that becomes silly.
Oh, yes. Well, it was one of those productions too where we didn't have enough actors. So midway through the play, I would get off stage, get out of everything. They would tape me into a man's costume, and I came back on stage as my husband.
Oh my golly.
We had not a lot of actors. It was a small company.
Was your hair short at the time?
Fun.
Well, my hair, no, but I had the powdered wig because it was a period piece, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I was already bunned up because
Yeah.
I was supposed to be a married woman. And so, yeah, I put powdered wig over top, and I came back on stage as my husband. Talk about personality conflicts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Who am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
But I got to talk about myself too, so it was really. Those young and foolish days.
That's fun.
It was.
I've never wanted to be on stage, but the sets have always intrigued me.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Mhm.
I've always kind of thought.
Yeah,
that'd
you've
be
always
fun.
said that you'd
It's always-
set design
yeah,
and
I always thought. that'd be
Well,
kind of
and
fun to do.
making costumes.
Mhm.
Making costumes. I always thought if I had chosen a different career, I would have probably spent my life very happily in the catacombs at Stratford Festival Theatre, making costumes, right? Making like armor for the soldiers in
Oh,
the
the
Shakespearean.
chainmail
Oh,
ones.
yes,
That'd
making
be great.
chainmail. It's knit.
Yeah.
They knit the chainmail and
Wow.
it's dyed and then starched so that the actors are
That's
comfortable
so
with it.
cool.
And they can
Mhm.
then they can sweat in it, and it can be
Yeah.
cleaned, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what they used to clean those crazy big brocade costumes?
What do they use?
The actors take them off and they spray the inside of the costume with vodka because it releases
40% alcohol.
it removes the odor and any kind of bacteria that accumulates.
It dissipates quickly.
And
So
it
was there
dissipates
somebody
quickly.
underneath it when you're squeezing it out with their mouth open?
Yeah, well, it depends on the kind of day she's having. It was like squirt in your mouth. 1, 2 costume. 1, 2 for me. 1, 2
But
costume.
vodka.
1, 2, 3 for me.
That's unique. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the little theater tricks, you know.
Very cool.
Because those costumes, they couldn't wash those brocade costumes.
No. How would you?
I keep thinking of the days when you had your once a month or maybe an annual bath.
Mm.
Like, yeah.
Oh, life was so much more aromatic than.
Yes, aromatic.
Yeah.
But then your life expectancy was only to be about 35 years old.
Mm-hmm. No, there's that too.
Yeah. Yes, we've come a long ways in health and hygiene. There's an old joke about hygiene. Do you know what hygiene is?
No.
A tall woman.
Oh.
Well, a totally appropriate joke to tell on it along.
Hey, hi, Jean. Hey, tall woman. My mother's name is Jean, but she's short, so she's a low
My
Jean.
mom-
She's a low
My
Jean.
mom's name is Jean too.
Oh, there.
Is your mom's name Jean?
No, my mom's name is Teresa. Low Jean.
Yeah, Jean.
My grandma Holland, her name was Lulu.
Ah,
That's cool.
Lulu Holland. So it was only fitting to carry on a
The
really
family.
nice name.
yes.
And, our
That's
little
where
pooch.
Lulu.
And where is little Lulu? I heard her snoring. Oh, she's down
right
there.
Sound
here.
asleep. She's really.
Yeah.
She was hungry this morning too.
Well, she ate a lot. That's probably why she's
Yeah.
sleeping now.
So knitting 2 in worked out very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just spacing it out.
Yep.
So it's a good idea to do a check every so often, and then just do that same thing if you find you've got extra stitches. Because what you're doing, Murray, is he's picking up the stitch in between,
Yes.
and with his needle somehow, and
Causing a pocket.
just making a new stitch.
Making an increase.
Yeah.
Good.
But I do have a feel now that I can stab, choke, hang, and walk them off within seconds instead of.
Can you actually walk when you're at the end of your roll? Walk over to the oven and turn those things off that are on it.
Okay, I had just turned them down.
Oh, you
so-
turn them down. Oh, okay, good.
But I only turned them down 1 notch.
Oh,
Because
they can just go off.
yeah.
I have yarn dyeing today.
Very good.
I'm going to finish my row. I have about 8 more knits to do, and
And if you just turn them off, it can sit.
sure.
And
I checked the dye if it's all absorbed, and it looks all absorbed, so the water is clear.
Good. I'll get you guys to look before you leave. I am
Okay.
really, really particular about rinsing my yarns so that they don't bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're up later, go look at my rinse pail by the
Okay.
Spinner washer.
spinner washer and look at the water.
Oh, okay.
Or you can go look now.
Can I
if
do
you're
it now?
intrigued.
Can I,
Yeah.
well, hold on. I have to
Yeah.
finish my row.
And I've been dyeing purple and navy.
Is this for your order or is
Yeah,
this?
it's for the order.
It's for
Yeah,
your order.
yeah.
Okay, so
I've been
if
dyeing
a skein
really,
disappears, yes.
really colors that are heavily colored. Like they're
Oh,
not
okay.
they're not light colors.
These are bright ones.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I will turn them down.
I got the wrong number of stitches and what's the end of the row? Yay!
Always a bonus. Always a bonus.
Especially since I've been doing nothing but talking.
I'm on the lucky knitting back and forth part right now, so
Yes.
I will be soon. Knit 2 together. Knit 1. Yay!
life is good.
Life is very good. Wow.
So I was talking to an elderly friend of ours still living in Ontario, and he shared with us that he'd had his first COVID shot
Mhm.
from Pfizer. And what he was sharing was that in his lifetime, he never thought that he would see marijuana legalized so that, you could have a family gathering and smoke up together. And then he further went on but I never thought that smoking pot would be legal, but getting together my family wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a hard time.
It has been. It has been indeed. It's just amazing that it was a year ago.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That things are all just happening about this time a year ago.
Yeah.
You're all like, oh my, what's going on here?
So I had a discussion with a man on the internet the other day about when they were first coming on with this could become a pandemic,
Yeah.
and that Sophie Trudeau
Got
was
sick.
diagnosed with
Yeah.
having COVID, and then she went to the cottage. We never heard how, or was there a release of how she turned out? Was she okay?
She had mild symptoms.
She had mild symptoms.
That's what Justin said.
Yeah.
So she was actually quite lucky. Yeah. No, I just remember that very peculiar feeling. I had gone to BC to help
That's
my
right.
daughter out because she was having it's a very, very busy time of year for silviculturists. And I had gone because she needed help just looking after the baby and stuff. And I arrived on the Saturday. The pandemic was declared on the Monday. And all of a sudden, the baby couldn't go to daycare. Mom and Dad had to work from home. And Mamera was in the house. So you had 3 adults and a baby in the house. And nobody knew what they were doing. Because we really didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know how they were going to proceed with working from home. And I didn't know what I was going to do there with 2 other adults. I was supposed
You thought you were going to get a baby all day.
I know. I thought it was going to be like my time, right? No, but it was the strangest. But there was such an air of discomfort.
The uncertainty.
Yeah. And, my son-in-law rushing to the store to make sure that because they already had their earthquake supplies, right? Like they have a pantry because they have so many earthquakes on Vancouver Island.
Mhm.
And so he was replenishing everything so that at that time, they were talking food shortages and just the panic was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went through the experience of coming back and having to go into quarantine for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have been through that.
Yeah.
That's an adventure as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
where you depend on the kindness of strangers to make sure that you're,
Mm-hmm.
like your supplies are there because having been away, I hadn't gone shopping before all of this happened.
Well, yeah, you leave and you leave your fridge empty, right?
Of course,
As best you can. Yeah.
And then I went through the experience of I was going for walks in the morning and like for my own sanity because I was so a bit freaked out from having come back unexpectedly. And the RCMP called me and told me to stop doing that and to stay home.
Yeah.
Because one of my neighbors knew that I'd been to BC and reported me to the RCMP.
Yeah, neighbors of ours here, they were back and they had RCMP visit their door too, just checking up.
And it's because they came back from the
From the
States.
United
So they
States,
were
yeah.
they were the RCMP do go to houses and check the people that are coming in from other parts of Canada.
Yeah.
When we
And
were
we had
here,
to-
we
yeah.
didn't get checked, but I had to do that online check-in every day.
Yes.
Oh, see, and I think
They didn't have that in place.
not yet.
No.
No, because it was early April when I went through that. But it was weird the first time after the 14-day quarantine, because it was also new.
Mhm.
Going to the grocery store where they had turned everything into, they had barriers everywhere and you could only go one way. And people were just like eyeballing each other and
Yeah.
just, keeping that cart distance. And everybody was so afraid of everybody.
Mhm.
That was a really uncomfortable time. It was really difficult. That first time I went into the Sobeys, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Oh, and you had to go, if Lord forbid you forget something, because you had to go back
all the way around.
I know, it was like playing snakes and ladders, right? Like slide back down to the beginning.
Yep.
Go
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
around because you forgot something in the middle of the store. That's when you do the big debate. Do I really need that yeast?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I should learn how to make sourdough bread And so I don't have to go back and look for the
You were
yeast.
lucky that you could find yeast.
Oh, I can't remember that I did. Actually, can I think?
So flour disappeared, toilet paper,
Couldn't get any yeast. That's why everybody
Couldn't
was
get
making
yeast.
hand
sourdough.
sanitizers
Yeah.
went out the door.
Couldn't find any like face masks. That's why
Yeah.
everybody
No.
was making their own,
mhm.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're right.
Unbelievable.
The stuff that just disappeared off the shelves, going into the store and seeing empty shelves.
Yes, that was an eye opener.
I wonder how long face masks are going to be part of our lives. I don't think that's going to disappear.
I don't think so.
I
Very
don't
quickly.
either. I don't think.
I think we're still going to be wearing those for a while.
I hope so, because I finally realized that when I'm going somewhere where I'm going to wear a mask, I don't need to do my makeup from here down.
Yeah.
You should see the inside of my masks. It's like
Mhm.
lipstick and
Mhm.
blush and foundation
Yeah.
and
Oh my gosh.
It's like
they get
the
really-
reverse face, right?
Yeah.
So wrapping up 2020, we all have lots of things that we can discuss about,
Mhm.
but what was the most unappealing thing that happened in 2020 due to pandemic for yourself? I'll start with Rita.
Unappealing. Having to deal with the tourists down at the museum and to be in confined quarters with people I didn't know,
Mhm.
even though we kept our distance.
Yeah.
And didn't you have to do a
masks
whole bunch of rescheduling? Like,
We would only do one tour every 45 minutes.
right?
No, only one bubble in the house at one time.
Right.
And then we would have 15 minutes to disinfect between every.
That's not a lot.
No,
How do
but
you keep track of what they touched?
well,
Or you
because
ask
you're
them
with
not to
them.
touch anything?
There's signs everywhere not
Yeah.
to touch
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And we had it down to a science.
You did,
Whoever gave the tour, the next person, would come behind, and so usually the disinfecting was practically
Was
done.
happening at the same time as the tour, pretty much.
Right. And we
Yeah.
didn't use the kitchen at all last year because it was just too narrow to get people up and down easily. So yeah.
So Cindy, what was something that you found that 2020 really disrupted you?
No, it was my irritation at WestJet.
Because of our plans.
Well, we had
that-
plans for a trip to Saskatchewan starting in end of April.
End of April.
And
But
of
we
course,
had booked in
Yeah.
end of February.
so I waited and waited and waited and made WestJet cancel our flight. We didn't cancel it. They ended up sending me a cancellation notice. And then they said, well, they said, we'll refund your money. And then I got a letter saying, we'll give you a travel credit. And I said, I don't want a travel credit.
Yeah,
I
I
want my money back. And there was just no way that was going to happen. And then for some reason, I was flipping through something on the internet and I saw that someone had gone to their bank and said, I want a cash back on my credit card because what I paid for, the service was not provided.
Mm-hmm.
So we contacted the bank, and this was before I know people who've contacted it, they banks wouldn't do it, but at this point in time, not many people were asking for the cash back. And so we got it back right away. Like WestJet we said they canceled the flight.
Yeah.
They did not provide us with the service. I
Mhm.
want the cash back. So they did whatever they do and got that money back from WestJet
Nice.
and put it onto our credit card. And WestJet had 45 days to dispute it, and they never did. So, because I just have a huge thing about the fact that they have all these airlines who have kept so many people's hard-earned money,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody has to pay with a credit card, just about when we're doing any type of flights or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got all these bailouts from the government.
But the government has stipulated, right? You want money from us, you have to reimburse. So apparently Air Canada is
Starting to?
is planning to, whether they've
Mhm.
started or not. But you're right, I have a big fat WestJet credit. So as long as it doesn't expire before I can use it.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Well, they shouldn't be able to put an expiry date on it.
That's right.
Like that would just be wrong. You know.
So going forward with this,
Yeah, so-
Peggy, what is your 2020 biggest complaint?
You know, the worst thing for me was when we were trying to decide what to do with the Longboat Society as to whether or not we would actually go out and row. And it was my first exposure to anti-maskers and conspiracy theories, and how very, very difficult that was to deal with.
Okay.
You know, because for some of the people in our society who are in their 70s, COVID would have been
Deadly.
deadly.
Yes.
But that was really difficult. I found that really, and yes, I found that difficult until the government had made a decision that masks were mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have people coming at you like they're going to hug you without wearing any kind of protective equipment. That was very difficult for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, the biggest thing with me is that I enjoy music jamming with the local buddies, eh? And that's been all, well, a little bit of jamming with a couple of men, but we used to get together. One time there was 10 of us that were in the basement at a friend's, and we were all jamming, playing along, and that. And COVID stopped all that,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it put a fear factor in that
Oh yeah.
if you've got it, I'm going to get it. So
And I don't
mask
know
up.
where you've been.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The bubble scenario.
Yeah.
So disrupting the little music jams that I was involved in really took its toll, because just now I'm getting back to a couple of buddies that we can go and play some music, and we've got our 6 feet separation and that. So it's
Yeah.
it's a loss of camaraderie.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking, what about the students, the high school students now, where their interaction with one another develops future relationships, either in marriage, university, college, workforce? All that now has lessened the social activities
Mm-hmm.
because of this COVID and the fear and the online training, that maybe these students aren't going to get interaction that is so necessary to develop healthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a repercussion in years to come.
I
that
believe so
there's
as well.
a void here of a year or two now. Now, some of the students are still quite involved, getting together with themselves now, but not like a big volleyball team and then a party after and all that. I think a lot of the social activities now have been lessened to the degree that there's going to be social repercussions.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more loneliness.
So when you were talking about anti-maskers, my brother sent me a picture last night and said, "I am not an anti-masker. I'm a facial nudist."
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. And we have a very political friend who sent us one of those memes, and it was something to the effect of, "I'd rather wear a mask than a ventilator."
Oh yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah.
one.
Or my mask is more comfortable than any ventilator, or something to that effect. But very political.
But,
animal.
even
but
within
I think, yeah, I'm a
families,
nudist.
there's
Yeah.
so
Oh
much.
yes, you just don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing, I wonder why. So people who have COPD that don't want to wear a mask or shield or anything, why are they out? If they are the people that are going to die,
Yes.
if they get in
So
contact
susceptible
with
to it.
anything, so susceptible.
Yeah.
You'd think that the first thing they try to do was to have somebody help them out so they wouldn't have to go out in public.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that.
We just have a comment on our
Oh,
screen too, and it says, and it's from Leslie, and she said, "Agreed. It's been very difficult for teenagers and young adults in terms of social interaction."
It
Oh,
has
yeah.
indeed.
And I think it's such an important thing.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
And even when you think about it, social interaction has changed a lot already because of computers and technology.
Mhm.
It's not quite the same as we all hung out at the school ground after school or by the corner store or whatever, where you know
Yes.
that doesn't happen as much anymore.
No.
And now it's everything is happening even less.
That's
so.
true.
Yeah, that's very true.
But we're so resourceful, I have to tell you. We the number of things that were offered on Zoom, like
Yeah.
I had already been taking dance classes through not Zoom, because I'd never heard of Zoom until
Mhm.
this all came out. But so we just continued to do that. But because one of my dance partners, who always dances just a step behind me so she can follow me, was now dancing from home, logging into a Zoom class, and was finding it so intimidating that she didn't have me to follow. We actually at one we would log into WhatsApp on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
So she could see me through the phone, and then she had the computer on with our regular teacher. So she was watching me and watching. So we just used technology to try to get around her.
Make a patch cord.
Yeah.
It was actually really funny, and you could hear her panic whenever there was a disconnect with the WhatsApp.
Oh no.
Yeah, amazing. We're so resourceful.
We are. Yeah.
So who developed your choreography for your dance?
Most of what we do together is American tribal style, which is improv.
Oh, okay.
So, but the other the one we were talking about before, it's actually finished. The video is finished. I could show it to you. That we did together, the three of us, the three dancers.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the other choreographies, with the teacher in Ontario, she will teach us technique and there'll be a choreography with it. So that's quite fun.
Oh, Leslie says this. My kids, who are a teenager and a young adult, now have a greater appreciation for offline social integrations. That's the silver lining.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
That's really cool.
Really cool.
That is
Yeah.
nice to hear.
Yeah.
The resurgence of board games.
Yeah.
That's also cool. Once we could bubble, right? I
Yeah.
don't know about you guys, but I got to play more Scrabble and backgammon than
Mhm.
I've done before.
Cribbage.
Crib.
Euchre.
Oh, I like euchre. The left and right bower.
Well, we even thought about what we were going to do for our little knitting group here so we could
Yeah.
do the videos,
Mhm.
right? Like it
Yeah,
wasn't
that's right.
just let's do a video. It was like,
No.
how can we do this safely so everybody's comfortable more than it,
Right.
tried to take all that into consideration when we were
Mhm.
setting that up.
Another
So these are the
story.
things that I hope we can maintain after.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's also things that I felt were outdoors and positive for me during last year too. It wasn't all
No, it
negative
wasn't.
stuff.
Yeah.
There was I had lots of really good positive experiences, and the biggest one being is just taking time to be still and listen to my own intuition about stuff and my
Mhm.
own just listening to your own thoughts instead of pushing them aside or being busy.
I wonder how many of the people knitting with us would agree with you. I thought that was the gift.
I
of the
agree.
COVID.
Totally.
The quiet, the peaceful, quiet, uninterrupted
Mm-hmm.
time to reflect and look at new things and,
Mhm.
and just see things differently.
Mhm.
And to understand for myself is that I do fill up a lot of my day with being busy. Do I need to be that way all the time? Or is that just a product of,
Mhm.
how I've been over the years, always working.
Right.
I don't need to be working all the time.
Yeah.
I can actually just do some things I enjoy and
Mhm.
pull back a bit. So that's been my 2021 goal, is to just pull back from the busyness and spend a little bit more time listening to myself in a good way.
Nice.
Not those crazy voices, the other ones.
Yeah.
Oh yes. What did you say? What was your me? What does the me stand for?
Mischievous entity.
That's right. How to control your mischievous entity.
Yes, that's the one.
That's it.
And boy, it's active.
Mhm. Oh, Peggy, you forgot to go look at the pail.
Oh. I'm going to look at the pail right now, midstream.
I want you to. I want
really
you
want
to see.
There we go.
That.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
What time are we at?
Beside which one am I?
There's a pail beside
Right
the
there in
little
front of you.
spinner.
On the floor.
You mean the one that I was expecting it was going to be like a beautiful rainbow of color, but it's got nothing in it. It's just pretty clear.
It's clear. That is my goal. That I rinse. That I only use enough dye to dye the yarn. That I don't have excess dye.
That's wonderful.
And then when I'm rinsing, I just get clear water out of it. And that's a lot of batches of rinsing in there.
Are you making black?
I'm doing a navy.
Oh my goodness. Because I see the navy and the purple in the other one.
I'm re-dyeing the navy darker.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it looks black, but no, your pail is clear.
Yeah.
I think you wanted the navy not to be such a denim looking.
Oh.
You wanted darker saturation in the yarn,
Yeah.
right?
I'm just going to touch all your stuff.
Okay, you go
You got me
ahead.
out of my chair, and now I'm going to touch everything. Oh, these are beautiful. Cindy, wow.
It's already 11:30.
It is. We're
Isn't
coming
that
on to
something?
11:30.
We're getting there. And I'm getting to the end of another row.
And so am I. And I have done 4 rows today in this little short space of time.
Wow, nice,
I'm
Maureen.
really amazed at how my fingers have a memory to them.
You're not having to look down all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
That's
almost
nice.
feel the
What you're doing.
motion.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I'm finding that bringing the yarn up onto the needle that's on the cable,
Mhm.
onto the needle, has to really pull open, stretch open the from the cable up on to the needles, and then, you know, once I get that going and slide it off, that's good. Pull it down. Yeah. So Peggy's interested in something over there.
Well, we are just about coming on to 11:30. We are just seconds away from.
Well, we have to thank everybody for joining us today.
Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we'll be back next week, finishing up our odds and ends. Hopefully, I really am on section 7 by then.
I hope I will be on just the next
Yeah.
section of this, but I will make a concerted effort this week.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay,
So
Peggy,
just
I'll let
make
you
it
back
happen.
in.
Oh no, I'm good, thank you. Very good. Well, I'm just going
Everybody-
to finish my row.
Have a great week, and we will see you again next week.
Aha.
So
See you.
take
10
care.
o'clock.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. I keep touching this. It's not a touch screen.